Welcome to John Sue Michael Brosmer's video Battlethon, inspired by Gary Vaynerchuk. Today we're going to talk about how life operates in cycles. And more specifically, one cycle is composed of two parts. A good part and a bad part. And you have to go through both to get to level 2. We'll just say theoretically level 2. So if you're watching this video and you're wondering, what the hell does cycles have to do with life and why do I care? So when you realize that cycle has two parts to it, and why you would care about that is because you ever want things to happen faster? That you were sick of your life kind of not really changing and it's very monotonous and boring, or it's just changing too slow for you, and you wonder, why can't things happen quicker? Well, that's where you watching this video and understanding that life, the cycle of life, has both a good and a bad part. That's how you're going to learn how to make things go quicker. So to build some context around, okay, what's this crazy shit that John's talking about? So what if life has good and bad? Who doesn't know that? And how does knowing that make my life happen quicker? So have you ever had moments of pure ecstasy where you're so happy that you're having such a great time and it literally passed by like this? Like a great summer, when you were young, your summer vacations always went by quick. Or another thing is vacations when you're just having such an amazing time. Time shrinks and it passes by just like that, correct? So you'd say that good time that you had went by really quickly. Why? Because you liked it, because you were engaged in it, because you were connected to the moment. It's like you were spinning, if life was a wheel, it was spinning at like light speed. So it went by quicker. That's the good side of life. And that's only half the cycle. And to contrast this dynamic of how do you adjust the speed of life, when life sucks, or for example, you're working at a company where you hate the people you work with, or you're taking a class and it's so goddamn boring and you're counting the second hands click, 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 tick on the clock, and it seems like that hand is going slower and you feel every microsecond of that second hand on the clock, and all of a sudden that same second feels like 1 minute. Time has expanded. So the cycle of life, a good side and a bad side. And to get to level 2, you need to go through both sides. So you ever wonder, why does when negative things suck? When they suck, why does it make time seem longer? It's because you are rejecting and not connecting to whatever's happening to you. Think of it. Rejecting something in life is like putting the brakes on. When you're in a car and you don't want to hit something, you floor the brakes. So that's like negative stuff. You don't want to go towards negative stuff. So you put on your mental brakes, and that just slows everything down. But when there's something good, say you get a call, that you won a prize, you're driving through, you're flooring the gas and you're going right towards it, right? Anything good or considered positive, you've got the pedal to the metal and you're flooring it and you're getting there in no time flat. So if you want life to change quicker, stop putting brakes on the negative things and actually put the pedal to the metal like you do for positive things, but towards negative things. And you're thinking, John, that's crazy. Why the hell would I want to rush towards negative things? That's suicidal. And I would say, mentally, yeah, that's correct. Negative things, you don't rush towards them. And I'm not telling you to rush towards it, but what I'm saying is, instead of putting on your brakes, flooring them, maybe ease up on the brake. Or barely tap it and go towards it, because you probably realize you cannot escape negative things in your life. Negative things just seem to come. And when they come from, you weren't expecting it, that usually knocks you on your ass. Right? And you've probably realized that to get anything, to really understand something completely, you see both sides of it. The good and the bad, whether it be your job, whether it be a person you're dating, whether it be chasing your dream. Everything has a good and a bad side to it. So, if to get to level 2, I need to go through the bad and the good, why not take my foot off the brake onto the negative, because I gotta go there anyways, and just go into it. Good example. Have you ever had something really bad happen to you? Say, for example, somebody caught you in a lie or something, and then now you gotta fess up. You know that moment of where you make that decision to take ownership and accept that this situation screwed up and you gotta deal with it? All of a sudden, right before that moment, everything, the whole mental game, the whole perception of, oh, this is gonna suck. That's like time working on quicksand level, moving so slow as molasses. But once you take ownership of that negative situation and accept it and say, fuck, I'm fucked, now I gotta deal with it, all of a sudden, life goes back to normal pace, if not a quick pace, right? Whenever you choose to deal with your problems, life picks up speed. And I'm not making this shit up. Think about it. The last time when you got to that moment of accepting your negative situation, life seemed to pick up speed. But the moment that you decide, like, oh fuck, and you wanted to avoid it, that's like putting the floor on the brakes on your life, and then you're just slowing down almost to a standstill. Right? So what I say is, take the foot off the brake of negativity and allow it to go with it. Spend a lot less energy. Because I'll tell you this, no matter what, when shit happens in life, you got to go through that negative situation. There's no side skirting it, right? And life has proven whatever situations, negative situations that you try to avoid. Here's a great example of how life brings back shitty situations in different scenarios. You ever been on a losing streak of dating losers? Well, actually, this is for women mostly. You ever been on a streak of dating losers? And they just keep coming back in different colors and different shades? Right? And you're just like, what the hell? Why do I keep getting all these losers? To realize the one core problem or the one core factor is you. You have to go through all of those losers to get to the winner. You gotta kiss a million frogs to get to your Prince Charming. Right? You gotta get ugly before you become beautiful. And it's not about, avoiding the negative. It's about going through the negative and seeing the negative and experiencing the negative to realize that the negative wasn't as bad as you thought. That the actual negative things actually had some good things to it. As weird as that sounds. So when you come to the realization that life, one cycle of life is both sides good, one side bad, and you cycle through that, watch how fast your life changes and how just results and things change. I'm not going to say for the better or for the worse. I'll say for the better and for the worse. You lived enough years to realize this. As you get older, life gets more beautiful. But as beautiful as it gets, it's got an equal part ugly, right? As you get older, you're able to have so much more beautiful experiences, but you've never had to work so hard to get there. You get bigger, think of it, think of life as, goals, right? The bigger your goal, the harder you're going to have to work for it. Life doesn't get easier. But when you realize that it's one part good, one part bad, and you cycle through it instead of what most people do, putting their floor, putting the gas on the positive stuff and then putting the brakes on the negative stuff. And that's just right, just like this. Start, stop, start, stop. How many of you guys can relate to that? Start, stopping in life instead of just, going good, getting a long stretch and, there's a yellow light, you floor past that. And then you see, you're just kind of going down and then you see, there's a red light, so you just start gently pumping the brake and then you come to a nice smooth stop. That's kind of like the journey of life. If you were to do that, and instead of flooring the brakes towards negativity and just, patting the brake, life's very different. And you'll experience it in a much more present and connected way because you're not shitting your pants and being disconnected from the moment when negativity comes. You're pretty much connected to the positive and, how we say, butterfly effect towards the negative. But you are much more connected that way than totally connected to the positive and then totally disconnected to the negative. That's my 2 cents on cycling through life and putting the gas to your life.